How's it going, guys? Welcome to yet another reading by my good friend NotAPony. This one is called Divergence, and I must warn you, this is a fic that contains sexual content slash rape. It has a deeper emotional meaning. Just so you guys know, this is not just your, average day clop fic. I don't say I clop. I don't. I don't mind if you do, just keep it to yourself. Don't go bother me with it. But yeah, this is another fic. He wrote it in a relatively small, it's 9 pages. He did in like 12 hours. But still, there's a very deep emotional meaning behind it, and he put a lot of effort in it. So I hope you guys check it out. You know, go show him some love. And yeah, let's start reading. Divergence. The wind shifts the trees with a sour howl, causing me to heed the strange and unknown shadows of the alleyways around me. The constant creaks and murmurs of Ponyville's nightly denizens heightens my perception. Damn it, not a pony. Why you use all these fancy words? If I'm not aware, I am afraid something will get me. I feel as if one little mistake will allow for something to pounce on me. Well, yeah. The sounds of my hooves on the dirty street echoes with a maddening click-clack. Everything's so quiet. It's so alien compared to the chattering and yelling in the bar. Sometimes I wish the bar would open later, if only so that I wouldn't have to walk in the dark alone. A stray cat jumps in front of me. Backing into the wall behind me, I realize that I'm a long way from home. There were still a few blocks to go, and yet the imposing shadows of the ruined abandoned houses and alleys creep into my subconscious. Isn't that supposed to be subconsciousness? Whatever. They tell me to come closer, though I know better. Slowly making my way forward, I turn to face a choice. I can either take a shortcut, an inexplicably dark and dank corridor, or the long illuminated sidewalk ahead of me. The shorter path was my main route to travel to Wet Whistle's Tavern, though I had avoided it so far as to prevent myself from being mugged or worse when returning home. This isn't a nice section of the neighborhood, yet I myself have never been affected by the apparent crime or underworld that calls this part of town home. So, on that note, why should I worry about something bad happening to me tonight when I haven't had any trouble before? Well, because shit happens, and it will happen when you do it once. Honestly, that's when it always happens. Right as I turned to enter the corridor, I noticed a strangely placed stop sign to my right. I hadn't noticed it before, so why am I noticing it now? It might be a sign to warn me of whatever events and or misfortunes may transpire, but I choose to ignore it. Right away, I notice a large green dumpster several yards ahead. An air of suspicion looms over me. Trash is scattered all about the place with several unsightly carcasses of fishes and other small animals. The alley is so dark I can barely see in front of me. There's some faint light seeping into my direction, though it's coming from the streetlight on the other side. When I'm at the halfway point between the dark corridor, I see something looming out of the corner out of my eye. I turn as fast as I can to see what it is, but for some reason I only see the green dumpster. But something's not right. I thought there was something to the side beforehand, but it had suddenly moved. Or maybe I was just starting to panic. I turn and run as fast as I can. After I cover a few feet of distance, I begin to hear the loud clicking of... Oh, nice. Nice misspelling there, not a pony. O-V. Of. That's with an F, not a V. Of hooves from behind me. I'm being followed. Now I have no choice but to hurry. Something catches me by my left ankle, making me crash face first into the hard black ground. Kicking my hind hooves, I hold one foreleg up to shield myself from pain. The stinging in my muzzle gives way to the slow, steady flow of warm crimson from my nostrils. In a heavy, accented voice, My assailant threatens me in a hushed, imposing voice. Y'all better quit your trash before I ruin the pretty face of yours. A million thoughts course through my mind. Why me? Why now? Why? Why? Yeah, why? Because you did it the one time. And as I just said, it happens the one time you try it. You know, it'll go wrong once you try it. I'm not a very strong pony, so I doubt I'll be able to fight this perforator off. It's dark, so I can't really make out many distinguishing features. But I can see that her hair is a ponytail at the bottom, blonde and slightly rustled at the front. The earth pony has freckles and is strong enough to pin me down with her left foreleg, pressing it down onto my stomach like an oppressive iron weight. As hard as I try, I squirm and squirm, like the pigs on my uncle's farm when they're about to be taken away. But like them, my strength isn't enough. Nearly exhausted, my panting breaks the stony silence, feeling the cold night air. Her eyebrows furrow, making me think that she's angry with me, but I see her smile. It's a twisted grimace, filled with male violence and sadistic indulgence, mocking me and my weakness in such a critical moment like this. Desperately, I try to reason with her. What is this? What do you want from me? I cry in a waving, fearful voice. Her expression grows even more vicious than before. She replies quaintly, speaking in a quiet, gentle tone. Well, I just want you to suffer, Creamy. My eyes widen. How do you know my name? A look of disgust overtakes her for a moment. She scowls at me and lifts me up, taking me and slamming me back first into the cold brick wall. Her answer is harsh and direct. You oranges are such quacks. You and I used to be friends. Natalia Cream Orange. I bet you don't remember thinking about what you did to my cousin Apple Fritter, do ya? Oh, Apple Fritter. Hello. By the way, Apple Fritter is part of the Apple family. She was referenced in the first episode. I don't know if she was referenced any later, but she's part of the Apple family. And the main character's name is Natalia Creamy Orange, just so you know. The force of her forelegs felt that even harder than before. Then, suddenly, I suddenly began to start putting the pieces together. Memories of my childhood began to resurface, making my head nearly spin in an effort to recount all of the terrible, wrong things I have done in my life. Alright, now there is a rape, motherfucker. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna make rape jokes. But just a heads up. I see the young, helpless face of a lemon-yellow mare. She has a bichromatic mane with shades of lime green. The tears run down her face as I pin her down onto the bed. No pony's home, so no pony but me can hear the sobs coming from her. The screams and banging that nearly pierce my ears. The ringing in my ears hurts, but somehow I can't bring myself to hit her. Why? Why are you doing this to me, Creamy? What did I ever do to you? The tears flow smoothly and evenly, accentuating the size of her soft face. For some reason, I feel even more eager. I can't wait to open her right up and taste her. Then she cried even louder, seeming to have sensed my intentions in full detail. The faded rose blush spread across her face, placed on the richness of her unripe lime eyes. I hold her down with my left foreleg and slowly make my way down to her slit with my right. Oh boy. Apple Fritter shakes her head and tries to throw me off. I nearly lose the fight, but I muster all of my strength and overpower her. No, please, stop! The soft, smooth flesh met my right hoof. There was a certain velvety aspect to it, even if it wasn't very lubricated, but somehow the freshness, the pristine nature of her untouched flesh pulled me deeper into the part of me that desired to fulfill my unfulfilled urges. The countless months of tension that built up, the years spent being deprived of the indulgent act of sex, all of it was bursting at the seams at this very moment. I just don't want to be starved, and she and I know each other. Slowly, I start rubbing her folds, intentionally avoiding the actual vaginal passage itself. A pained squeal escapes her. Her right hoof jerks slightly, reflectively trying to stop me from touching in the most private of places. She's still crying. Embarrassed, she shuts her eyes and turns her head to the left, her muzzle jutting towards the wall above her head and away from me. The motions of my right hoof grow more robust, phasing firmness with each cycle. Apple fritter gasps, mouth gaping, as I near more and more towards her vagina. The small furrow of her brow and the dip of her eyes conveyed me a sense of helplessness that, strangely, made me die a little inside. But even then, I didn't want to stop. Oh man, it's about to get good. Nah, I'm just kidding. Sitting my right hoof at her vagina, I immediately prodded it with the tip, making sure not to be too harsh. Again, she gasped in pain, but this time a whining moan escaped her quivering lips. Ow, Celestia, no! I found myself being shoved back into the ground, my back being stained by the dirty ground. Oh wait, now this is back in the. This was a sudden, this is a sudden jump cut. Now it's back in the alleyway. From the look on your face, you've had for the last 2 minutes, I'm guessing you remember everything. Suddenly, her right hoof met my folds, making me gasp quietly. She smiled menacingly and raised my left hind leg over her shoulder, bringing my crotch directly to her muzzle. Abruptly burying her face into me, I felt her tongue briskly slip in and out of me, literally sticking it to me for all the damage I've done. I couldn't help but turn my head in frustration at the quiet groaning coming from my mouth. No, stop! Of course she didn't stop. The bitch went even faster. The slippery, wet creature flailed inside of me, twisting and turning with a ferocious intensity. I felt myself clenching up, hardening my joints and trying to put my hooves on the ground as hard as I could. My walls started tingling, making me melt. I was disgusted, and somehow not disgusted at what I felt. I couldn't help it. Oh, fuck! And here's Back to the Future. Back to the past. A few minutes after I started prodding her tight little snatch, she became more moist. There was a certain wetness around her special spot that made me feel like going deeper. I pushed into her, slightly stretching the hole wider. It was easy since she wasn't as tense as before. She squealed but muffled it with her left hoof. I saw a look of resentment on her face. Of course she would be angry with me. I took her left hind leg and raised it above my shoulder, burying my muzzle into her crotch. It smelled like apples. I reflectively sniffed again, not really thinking it was true. She twisted and jerked her hips. Ah, what the hey? Slightly ashamed, I began licking around her hole with small, slow strokes. Her left hind leg twitched and kicked the side of my head. Sobbing, she gritted her teeth and shut her eyes as tight as she could. Moving my tongue faster, I covered more room and began licking with wider motions. Damn it, stop teasing me! My eyes widened, my ears jerked as if I had heard my father calling me to go to the special room. Groaning, the little filly covered her mouth again, only this time out of more than shame, but also out of disgust. So I did just what I had been thinking of doing anyway. I stuck my tongue in with a powerful thrust. But I was surprised at how tough it was. Slowly, I made it wider and wider by the second. Apple fritter winched in pain, or delight, I couldn't tell, gasping at what I could only hope was an overwhelmingly painful sensation. When my entire tongue could fit, I went back to using stronger motions, ramming my tongue into her like it was some sort of skirmisher with a spear. Her body started quivering. She jerked her hips and began to constrict my neck with her left hind leg. Now, I had no room to move my head. All I could really do was keep on going. She hoarsely groaned and yelled through clenched teeth. Ah! Oh, fuck! Oh! I exploded, covering her face with my juices and nearly choking her with my legs. Back to the future. Her left eye closed reflectively, trying not to get any in her eye. The blonde mare started rubbing it with her left hoof, going as fast as she could. I screamed, bursting again, letting all of my pent-out tension out. She smiled deviously, as if to mock me and call me a whore. Trying not to pant, I raised my eyes to see her. A loud click-clack came over from the corner behind her. I hoped with all my faith that it was some pony who could help, any pony that didn't know her. He came around the corner. The blonde stallion was a strong, surly red with a muscular build and a protruding chest. I knew exactly who it was. Oh, fuck you, Celestia, I muttered underneath my breath. Alright, time for the deep voice. Long time no see, Creamy. Big Macintosh bellowed. The growly deep baritone caught me off guard. He stood beside Applejack and stared at me harshly. Don't suppose you remembered me the last time we played together? Big Mac clenched his teeth when he finished asking the question. Do ya? Back to the past. Again. I locked the door behind me and saw Big Mac, the young stud a year younger than me, turn around abruptly at this subtle sound. He was still blindfolded and tied down to the metal chair. The red, stunningly intrusive light above him seemed to burn, causing Mac to panic at the sudden hint at some pony else present. Hello? Is some pony there? I can't move. I felt something for Big Mac. I wanted to be with him and everything. I wanted to be his first, and maybe even marry him someday. But when I had told him how I felt, how much I felt like I had for the first time in my entire life, he said no. There was already some pony, else in his life. It's not that I was jealous or wanted him all to myself, but for some reason I just couldn't let go of him. He was a stallion, so why would it be wrong? He wasn't the one being penetrated, I was. I'm the one who's going to feel something being shoved inside of me. Trotting over to him, he turned his radio into my direction. Who are you? What'd you want with me? Sorry if I don't do his voice correctly. I don't know how younger Big Mac would sound. Slowly inching nearer and nearer, I kneeled in front of him and slowly rubbing his thighs with both hooves. Twitching, he tried to move away from me. Hey, what are you doing? I got somebody already. I gently rubbed my snout on his sack, hoping it's enough to sheet him. Within a few seconds, the strange smell doesn't really bother me anymore. He started growing. A toothy grin spread across my face. Hey, don't you go in... I ran my... Oh, God. I don't believe I'm gonna actually read this, but I ran my tongue along the base of his shaft, feeling the split on my tongue getting thicker. I felt his long, almost erect cock tingle in anticipation. Clenching his teeth, he groaned with disdain. Even then, it only took him 2 seconds to flare. Moving my tongue along the top of his member, lol, I gently puckered my lips around the top. What the? Stop that! What are you doing? Sucking lightly, I moved down a little further each time, until I had a few inches in my mouth, wrapping my long, squishy tongue around him. There was so much that I hadn't even covered, and already was starting to get worried. To me, it looked huge. No stallion I'd ever seen before was this long. Other stallion, lol. When it reached the back of my throat, I started to move my head with a rapid pace, choking here and there because I'm so shitty at it. Purple. Big Macintosh didn't make a noise, but I looked up at him and saw him still clenching his teeth. Moaning, I began rubbing my slit with my left hoof, pushing it into me as deep as I could. I was already wet from the feeling of my tongue on Big Mac. Oh, my voice. In a few minutes, I went as fast as I could up and down his dick, just hoping he'd hurry up so we can get to the best part. I'm admittedly becoming more impatient, so I basically started grinding him with my face. Before I know it, he's twitching, and finally, I felt the rush of his thick, sweet sperm going into my throat. Choking, I pulled myself off for a moment. Then, with uncertainty, I wrapped my throat around him one more time. I don't want him getting flaccid. Oh my god, my voice hurts. It hurts. Alright, now it's back to the future. With my muzzle on the ground, Big Mac teases my asshole with the tip of his now huge member. A look of worry spreads across my features. You aren't, I begged, my eyes dipping and lips quivering. Oh boy. Oh, now I can do his line. He grimaced, angrily furrowing his brows, piercing me with his sturdy green eyes. Both of them were staring at me with eyes that told me about all the horrible things they wanted to do to me. The ways they would bend and eventually break me until I was nothing but a quivering, cum-covered horror with a glazed look in her eyes. Yup, he said harshly. As he shoved me in my tight, unprepared anus, I feel like I had just gotten a tree trunk drilled into me. The overbearing pain makes tears fall rapidly down my face as the all-consuming amount of hell began to engulf me in the moment of not having any control over the situation. I screamed louder and louder, crying and leaving no strength for anything else but to try and shake him off me. Big Mac went ahead and smacked me, covering my mouth. My nose started bleeding again. LOL! Big Mac was relentless, merciless, not stopping or slowing down or holding back. He went ahead and thrust as hard and as fast as he could, going as deep as he could, doing it all with a broken, vengeful frown, showing the scars he still had from the last time I was with him. I felt every ounce and inch of anger he had for me. How I ended his relationship with a candy cunt nurse Redheart. LOL! And all the times I made Granny Smith give him a talking to. I was stuck between a cock and a hard place. I don't think it's funny, but the idea would make me laugh if I weren't in so much pain, and it's not very funny. Big Mac pulled me as close as he could, even going past the ring, making me bleed even harder. I realized that I'm bleeding, and that I've been bleeding throughout this entire time. Though I just noticed now because I'm starting to bleed even more. Back to the past. I continue swishing my tongue inside of her, and I gargle a command to the Svitli. I try to yell. I say again, feeling her pull in with all of her strength. Natalia! Squirting in my face, Apple Fritter jerks her head back, tongue out, and eyes rolled back. She goes limp, and then, in between her panting and moaning, she starts to cry again. I come just as hard, having rubbed myself the entire time, but paying too much attention to her to notice. I sit there, staring at her curling into herself, knowing that what I've done isn't right. I sit there, slowly feeling my juices drip down onto the now stained, impure, tainted sheets below me. It was going to take a long time to wash them out, but they'd never be truly clean no matter how many times they were washed. Then they'd just be thrown out and replaced for crisp, pristine ones. And now back to the future. Big Mac slapped my cheek, riding me with the fear of Nightmare Moon. Say my name, wait. I can't yell with a high voice, so I'm just gonna do it like this. Say my name, bitch. Oh my god, I sound like Duke Nukem. He yelled, his voice wavering and hurt, like he had bad news delivered to his suspenseful family, like he had gone through all the horrors any pony could ever imagine. I looked back, crying, whimpering, sobbing, and dying of anal pain. I just can't keep myself from saying LOL! His face was strewn with tears of hate and disgust. Right then and there, I don't know who he's more disgusted with, me or himself. Back to the future with Back to the past with Big Mac. I slid onto his cock and rode him hard. It was a blaze of pleasure and pain. My heart pumps furiously as the walls of my thigh what the hell's that? My tight pussy tremble, feeling every single inch of him sliding in and out. Screaming in exhilaration, whatever, I couldn't help but go as deep as I could, feeling all the pain of the cock tearing me open. I didn't know if I was bleeding, but for some disturbing reason, I would imagine I'd come even harder. Ill? Okay. After about 2 minutes, I felt Big Mac twitch inside of me. Stick fluid sprang upward, making my insides feel like melted butter. Or maybe it was the fact that I'd just come with him. I imagined him fucking me without the blinds and whispering in my ears all the things I wanted to hear. But then I remember he never wanted this. Not sure where this is. Oh, yes, I believe it is. Yeah, it's still in the past. No, it can't be you. He limply lowered his head, ashamed at what had just happened. Celestia, please, tell me it ain't you, Creamy. Now I'm gonna have to go ahead and scream. Shit. I can't scream for shit, especially now with a high voice, so I'm just gonna try my best. I'm going to try my best. Big Mac! I screamed at the top of my lungs, being filled with the same cum I died for a few years ago. Yet now, all I wanted to do was go back home, not to say hi to my dying mother who had an incurable illness, or to get ready to go to the weekly therapy session with Twilight, but to go home and cry. To cry, and curl up into a ball where no one could hurt me ever again. Back to the deep voice. You bitch, do you know how much of my life you fucked up? Big Mac threw me across the corridor and into the other side, slamming me back first into the wall. I had to go to therapy for weeks because I couldn't bring myself to go anywhere near some pony with a rake. I grabbed my gut in pain, feeling the hot, stinging pain inside of me, trying to get at the deepest parts of me with my hooves. I knew exactly what it was talking about. And now back. Not sure where this is, but I think it's in the past again. Oh wait, yeah, this is the past. He turned away from me and continued to rake the leaves. Look, Creamy, I have some pony else already. Yeah. This is like before everything, where she gets where she gets rejected. And there's lines on my arm. What the hell? I lifted the rake with my magic and slammed it into the back of his head. I tried my best to use my mother's medical knowledge not to not hurt him so much, using just enough precise force to do the least amount of damage, though I know it won't be harmless. I take the bandages out of my travel bag and look around for some rope. Back to the future. I felt another blow land on my ribs, but this time it felt like they broke right as they hit. Oh, this is, Creamy voice. You fucked up prissy piece of unicorn shit. Did you ever think we'd just let you go? She said quietly, the anger in her voice still making my eardrums ring. Right when she was about to hit me, I held up my forelegs to try and shield myself. Nothing hit me. Big Macintosh gave her a pained look that seemed to say, "That's enough." Then his friend, or whoever it was, looked at me one final time and turned away, slowly synchronizing the clicking her hooves with his. They turned the corner and kept going until I couldn't even hear the sound of their hooves against the pavement. Oh, fuck me. I groaned, realizing just how much trouble I was in. Um, and now over to the rest of the story. I believe this goes in like the future. Psychiatrist. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Psychiatrist? I don't know. Looks at me with regretful eyes. You didn't have to say all of those things, you know? Every single feeling that ran through your mind. Her soft, hushed voice providing me for a cozy, if artificial, asylum. I nod and smirk, full of shame and vigor, trying to keep my tears at bay. Yeah, I don't deserve to have any dignity, though. I sort of rate a few ponies. I like this therapist. She has the most blocky black plastic print glasses, but the other great thing about her is that not only that she's not calling me out or calling me a monster or anything, but she's not a pony, she's a griffin. So, how exactly did this entire endeavor make you feel afterward? I blushed and shied away from the question, looking down towards the green carpet of her office. I just feel like a horrible pony. I felt like a douchebag for liking everything I did, and yet, the most messed up part is, I paused, unsure of how to continue. Is that, still as fucked up as it was before. I'm just, Yes, she pushed after a few seconds of prolonged silence had passed. Freak. Someone who, no matter how many fucking times gets help, will never be able to change the sick desires and urges that pull me by my neck, the leaf digging into me as I try to go in a different direction, with ultimately failing because I let it become who I am. Who I'm always going to be until I die. Alright, so this is the ending, but there's actually a different ending, which he has written as well, which is a couple pages down, actually. And this is the alternate story, which I believe takes place before the therapist does everything. My therapist looked at me with a questioning expression. You like rape? Yes, I said. But no, I would never be stupid enough to actually do it. The end. That is the most troll ending, I have to admit. Not a pony, that's the most troll ending. You know, it just all took place inside of her head. You know, it never happened. She just has it in her head. No, that's like the most troll ending. And now for the author's note, which he written. And he was kind of mad when he wrote this. He didn't believe it afterwards. He was like, I can't believe I wrote this. So I'm just gonna go into fucking rage mode. Author's note. Hey there. Before you call me a jerk and a Jew fag or something, save your shit for later. I made the story to bring awareness to the actual disturbing nature of any rape fantasy or rape crime anyone might have or committed. It's imaginary, yeah, but the thoughts of it and views that shape the enjoyment of the fantasy are just plain immortal and kinda sick. The entire idea of someone somehow enjoying the pounding they're getting while being raped, as stupid and ridiculous as it is, can be true in life, believe it or not, but at the very fucking core, the very cream of the fucking top, the fucking heavy-ass drop morale of the story is that it does not make it right. It does not make it right to do that to someone, and it sure as hell doesn't excuse this shit someone has to live with after they've been tainted and ruined. Desecrated by some horny bastard or bitch that couldn't control themselves. Scroll down. Rape isn't a glorious thing, yeah, everyone knows that shit, and it's wrong. But sometimes I think people don't understand how wrong it is. That's why I wrote this piece of shit. So I could convey with the most mediocre denominator Klopik that in reality all of this is very, 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 to the fucking thousand, very fucked up in every possible way. If you want to sodomize me or something, go get your lotion or something and scream some shit about the liar plushy sweet ass. Okay. There. He was really mad when he wrote that. And now the special thanks. All of this, including the points in every aspect of the character, Storm, are all thanks to my good friend, name and address withheld. Thank you, name and address withheld, for being so strong, for telling me the truth, and everything else that set me in motion to push myself. Thank you for being able to talk about what nobody else would. You're a strong person, and with that, I hope you come to terms with your life, with yourself and your life. P.S. Smooch. Not sure what the ending, what smooch means. Maybe it's some kind of inside joke, but yeah. Also, thing that gets referenced here is the Lyra plushie, which is actually a Tumblr which has a Lyra plushie with like this thing inside of her. It's kind of weird and fucked up. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this fic. You know, I should thank my friend NotAPony for writing it. I'll put a link to his DeviantArt in the description as well, so you can check out all the works he made. This was also kind of a personal story of him. You know, I don't know what or how, but you know, he made this for a friend. Not sure who. I think. You know, I'm not even gonna tell you people just because there might be a shitstorm. You know, I know how YouTube people respond to these kind of things. At least some of them. And you know, but you know, Divergence. This fic really goes about the, you know, choices you make in life. You know, she takes the easy way by going into the alleyway, and therefore she gets punished. You know, she gets raped and everything. And the ending just shows, like, yeah, you know, she's fucked up. She's fucked up in her head. You know, she likes rape. But she doesn't do it. Does that make up for it? No. Of course not. You know, you shouldn't even have the thoughts. You know, just like, you know, people saying, you know, like, yeah, I just think I think about killing myself. You know, that's bad. Because it starts out with a thought. And then it goes into it, and then somebody thinks, like, yeah. Then somebody gets more addictive to it, you know, they want to feel it. And that's when it starts becoming true. And, you know, that's just, you know, all the choices you make in life. You know, sometimes it's better just to take the hard way. Because if she would have taken the hard way by walking down this lit sidewalk, this might have not happened. But because she is, you know, too lazy to walk around it, she goes through the alleyway. And she gets paid. She pays for that, and she pays a very high price. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video then. You know, go show my friend NotAPony a lot of love. You know, he really deserves it. You know, he keeps saying, like, no, I don't write good fanfics. You know, the art I draw is shit. You know, I'm not good. And, you know, I just keep saying to him, dude, stop putting yourself down. You know, My Little Pinky was great. It made me cry. Literally. It really made me cry. You know, Divergence, it's an awesome fic. You know, I don't get why he keeps putting himself down. You know, where'd the bubbles go? Great fanfic, you know. By the way, the art that is in that video is also drawn by him, you know. The cover of My Little Pinky is drawn by him, you know. Not sure if he made a cover for Divergence, but, you know, he puts himself down a lot, which really makes me sad because, you know, his works are great. He just keeps comparing himself to other people who are, like, busy with I've been doing art like for years. I'm like, dude, stop doing that. You know, your work is great. I bet everyone will appreciate it. You know, everyone will like this. So yeah, go show him some love. You know, because he really needs it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!